welcome to Chatterbox. I'm Siobhan, your host, and coming up on today's show, we'll be looking at Scorsese's Vinyl, which looks at the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle of the music industry in the 1970s. With me today, I have our gorgeous guests, animal science graduate Chloe Soanes, and media performance students Amina and Reese. Welcome back again, guys.
Thank you.
Good to have you back. How have you
Thank you
been
for
since
having
last time?
Good.
Have you watched Vinyl?
Yeah.
Good. Brilliant, because that's what we're going to talk about.
It helps to watch it.
It does help to watch it for a review show, I feel. Definitely. So, Run VT.
Think back to the first time you heard a song that made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. That's what I want.
I haven't seen a band get that reaction ever. You made them feel something.
You never stop hustling, do you?
That's rock and roll. It's fast. It's dirty. It smashes you over the head.
So we have a lot of big actors there, including Ray Romano and Olivia Wilde, and of course an even bigger director, the legend that is Martin Scorsese. So are you fans of Scorsese or any of his other work?
Bit of an idol for me, to be honest with you. I think his work is absolutely fantastic.
Anything in particular, Reese?
Shutter Island.
Yes.
I've done a performance on it myself.
Oh,
was
did
really
you?
good.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and who did you play in that?
I played Teddy Daniels, which was the main character, which
my
is
God.
actually portrayed in the film by himself, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
although I'm obviously known for being more gorgeous than Leonardo DiCaprio. So
Yeah.
Of course.
Reese is the Uni of Bedfordshire's answer to Leonardo
Exactly.
DiCaprio.
Exactly.
So Vinyl is a brand new original series on HBO, for those of you who don't know, and it's set in 1970s New York. New York.
New
I have to
York.
work on that one.
New York.
It's not my best accent. So it's very rock and roll based. And Mick Jagger, a rock and roll legend, he worked as a producer on the programme. Do you think that he must have had a lot of impact on the show for that very rock and roll feel? Do you think he contributed a lot?
I personally do, especially with if anybody that's seen it. I definitely, you can tell straight away what he's actually put into it. He's put the stylized into actually all the characters. So every single minute that you watch of that programme, you can tell straight away that rock and roll and just the way they dress and present themselves. It's
Like the
just
vibe
literally
between
the
them
way
as well
that
with the
Mick
characters.
Jagger would come across in real life. You can tell that though.
It's like
The
griminess.
edginess of the
The
programme.
edginess.
I love it, how they have a nice
Exactly.
vibe
Yeah.
between all the characters.
Absolutely.
And then they add all the equipment as well with it. It makes it more come to life into character.
Yeah.
I think he had a passes experience as well. That's why.
Yeah, and the soundtrack is incredible. Yeah. So, Reese, I heard that you're a big rock and roll fan. Do you have any favourite artists that you might have heard on the soundtrack?
There actually was in the actual program itself, the pilot that's just been out, obviously. It was actually mentioned my favourite artist, which is Chubby Checker, which is just a bit time before that.
Could
But
you
as it's
tell
mentioned,
everyone who he is?
Chubby Checker is a singer that was before the 70s, but he's just one of many examples that made himself known within the rock and roll industry. So it's if anybody, like I keep saying, has seen the programme so far, you'll see that a lot of the artists that are trying to get record deals within the industry are very, very similar to the way Chubby Checker is, and that's why I absolutely love that kind of music. It's very free-souled and very much.
Makes you want to dance along as well.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, it was a 2-hour-long pilot, which felt to me a lot more like a film. Do you think that was a little bit too long, Chloe, for a first episode?
I remember sort of looking at the time and thinking like, whoa.
Put you
This is
off a
quite a
bit?
long one, but like once you start getting into it, it does draw you in, and by the end of it, you don't realise 2 hours have passed. And I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and for those of you who haven't seen it, the pilot episode actually took a circular narrative. So we started off with Richie in the car in a very sort of stressful scene, and he was all over the place. And we went through the whole episode, which was nearly 2 hours, to end with him sat in the bloody car at the beginning.
Yeah.
So did you feel like it was a bit pointless. It just going around in this whole circle.
I liked
that we
it.
I
hadn't
liked
got.
it.
You liked it.
Not a problem at all. I think
Yeah.
that's what made it so good,
Yeah.
so watchable.
You always want to see what's happening next.
Yeah, exactly. You're
That's what I
indulged
like,
into what's
yeah.
happening. I
What
like
do you
programs
think
and
is
films like
next
that.
for Richie? I mean, you know, we'll talk more about what he went through in this episode, but what do you think we can expect from Richie as a character? He's the music producer, he's the protagonist. Do you think he's going to have a happy ending?
I think there's more stuff about him. There's more stuff to know.
I think because
Yeah.
it's only the pilot episode, we've got so much more to watch of it. It's given us a good understanding of obviously what he's like as a character himself and his lifestyle. But obviously, you see near the ending exactly the kind of way it's heading. It would either go one way or the other in the next episode. You either think he's going to carry on being the way he is, or he's actually going to transform something about his life.
And can we talk about a pivotal moment in the episode where we see Joe and Richie, our protagonist, are in a scrap with a very big radio producer, and he ends up getting murdered. There is blood all over the floor. His skull was open, so you might not want to watch it because we know you don't like blood.
That was horrific.
But actually, Rich had nothing to do with it. He was just there and in the scrap, and he didn't lay a finger on him in the sense that he didn't murder him or have any contribution. So, do you feel sorry for Richie now that he's stuck in this situation?
Yeah, I personally do. I don't know
I
about
agree.
you
I think
two, but
the funny thing is that was the point where I realised I was sympathising with him.
yeah.
Because when Joe says, you know, yeah, we killed him, and he gives him that look like, you know, we're taking the rap together, I felt like a personal injustice for Rich. I was like, no, he didn't do anything.
Do you feel like trouble is just running after him, if you get me? Like his wife, he has a beautiful wife, Devon, and he was really trying to be this family man. At the end, we see them have a big bicker. He starts drinking again. And he smashed a guitar into the television. Now, for me, that was a little bit cheesy. Like, come on, we know it's about rock and
Really
roll.
expensive, nice guitar as well
but
that he was given as a
that's
gift.
a typical image of rock and roll.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
What did you think, Reese, as a rock and roll fan?
It was exactly what rock and roll is, you know.
But do
like
you think
I
it was
keep
a bit
saying.
much? Do you think that
No,
needed to be
no.
there?
I think, you know, nothing is too much when it's Martin in charge directing it. Let's be honest with you. You know, nothing. There's
Don't
no limit.
question
Not the
Scorsese.
guitar
You
bit.
never question it.
Not
No.
the guitar bit. I thought it was.
No.
Yeah, I thought it was
I thought it was a bit
much.
too dramatic. Like,
No.
oh, you know what's going to happen.
Okay, so we're going to have a quick question before we finish off. Obviously, vinyl is set in the 70s, quickly. What decade would you like to have been born in, apart from this one, or the 90s or whenever, and why? If
Me,
you could go back. in
I'd
time.
like to have been born probably 60s, 70s. 'cause
Why?
you would have had much more of a social progression where people were starting to express themselves more and have a bit of fun in life.
Yeah.
And the war stuff's out of the way,
Exactly.
by the 70s especially.
Reese,
I
quickly.
think I am literally absolutely stuck with what to say because that is exactly
Yeah,
what
I
I
agree.
wanted to say.
Yeah?
60s, 70s because
See,
purely you're yourself and you can
Copycat.
What
freely
about you, my
dance
love?
wherever
I
you
agree with them
wanted.
as well, the 70s, but definitely as well the 1920s, because I like the glam.
1920s,
That's it.
because we love a flapper.
too
I love a
early.
flapper.
We love a
Too
flapper
early.
Style, the dress.
I'm
We
all right,
do.
thank you.
I
I
would
love that.
You'd
I
look
would love
lovely in
to
a
live
flapper
in
dress.
I think we should
though.
go back in time.
We should.
I'm down.
Afraid we don't have a time machine, so we can't go back to being flappers. And that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you to our amazing guests for
Thank
joining
you.
us
Thank you
again.
for
It's
having
been
us.
an absolute
Thank you.
pleasure to have you here. And join us next time where we will be talking about Better Call Saul's first episode of its second series, the spin-off to the hit series Breaking Bad. See you next time.